Money to the inauguration fund, got them tickets to the ceremony, to the parade, and to a ball as well. After Aretha Franklin performs My Country 'Tis of Thee, the Vice President will have the oath administered by Associate Justice Stevens. It's an oath. The Vice President's oath is different than the oath that the President takes. The President's oath is written into the Constitution. The Vice President's oath is the same oath taken by members of Congress.
And there are the kids, Malia and Sasha. They're walking in as well.
And you can hear this crowd roar from where we are at that picture of Sasha and Malia, two very popular little kids.
Yeah, as popular as the President-elect is and Michelle Obama, these kids are at least as popular.
And there's Mrs.
There's
Robinson.
no doubt. That's their grandmother, Mrs. Robinson, who will be living at the White House with them. And both Barack and Michelle Obama very happy that Michelle Obama's mother, Mrs. Robinson, is going to be there.
I sense Soledad O'Brien's kids are watching right now. Very excited.
And taking notes on those two little girls and what they're wearing and how they're wearing their hair. You know, it's so much fun to watch the two of them with broad smiles, not looking nervous, because imagine the crowds around them and how, you know, how difficult that might be. And they are just smiling broadly. I love that. They look really, really happy.
Imagine what this year has been like for them. It has got to be just surreal, extraordinary experience.
And now they see their father more than they have in the last 2 years because they live right over the shop.
Yeah.
They will.
They'll see a lot of their dad, and I'm sure they'll be real happy about that. And once the crowd sees them, there's going to be an eruption of excitement. These two little girls have really captivated the imagination of the American people. There you see Lynn Cheney on the right of your screen and Laura Bush on the left of the screen, the outgoing wives of the Vice President and the President.
Look how full up it has become. Earlier when we went on the air about an hour and a half ago, up by the Washington Monument, there was a lot of grass to be seen. There was no grass to be seen now. I can't tell if it stretches all the way to the Lincoln Memorial, but it certainly looks like it does.
Yeah, at least up to the Washington Monument, it's pretty jam-packed.
There she is, Aretha Franklin.
Yep. And she's going to be performing and electrifying this crowd as well.
The First Lady of Soul. She's the...
Keep in mind,
there are three First Ladies on this stage. Aretha Franklin, the First Lady of Soul.
Absolutely. Born in 1946 in Memphis, Tennessee, and her experiences with discrimination and segregation. And again, her appearance, of course, she is a fabulous singer, but also what she's experienced in this nation.
Watch this. Here's this introduction of the kids.
By Assistant Secretary of the Senate, Sheila Dwyer.
Sasha, they're about as excited. Look at that nice smile. They should be really happy. Roland Martin is up there as well. Roland, tell us where you are, what it feels like. What are you seeing?
Ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady, Mrs. Laura Bush, and the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Lynn Cheney, accompanied by Secretary Chow, Mrs. Bennett, Mrs. Boehner, and Republican Staff Director of the U.S. Senate Committee on Rules and Administration, Mary Suit Jones.
Hey, everybody.
And then they're going to be followed by eventually Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, the President Bush will be coming in, and then this formal process will begin, the inaugural ceremonies. It looks, by our account here, Anderson, they're running slightly behind schedule, but at noon Eastern, which is in about a half an hour from now, Barack Obama actually becomes president of the United States, even if he hasn't even been sworn in yet, because that's according to the Constitution.
It all goes according to the tradition, a tradition which some of it is written into the Constitution, some has been amended over the years by past presidents.
Yeah.
Barack Obama will, of course, give the inaugural address. He's supposed to start it at 12:01, but as you said, they are running a little bit behind schedule. But after Barack Obama takes the oath of office, herald trumpets perform 4 ruffles and flourishes. The U.S. Marine Corps band plays Hail to the Chief for Barack Obama for the first time. Then there'll be a 21-gun salute, and Senator Dianne Feinstein introduces the president, who gives his inaugural address, followed by poet Elizabeth Alexander, who's been selected by Barack Obama. Not every president has a poet, but
there will
tradition
be one,
that started with John F. Kennedy, Robert Frost. He was the first poet to speak on Inauguration Day.
Clearly building. By the way, Senator Feinstein will be the first person to speak. She will call this inaugural ceremony to order. She'll have some welcoming remarks before the invocation.
Crowd chanting Obama.
Rick Warren. Yeah, they're getting ready for this this moment to take place, and the clock is ticking down to history unfolding in Washington. All right, there is Michelle Obama and Jill Biden. They will shortly be introduced as well. They're about to walk in, and there will be a huge, huge celebration as they are introduced. Jill Biden herself
an educator in the last day, telling Oprah Winfrey that her husband was offered either a secretary, he could be either Secretary of State or Vice President. Biden's office put out a statement saying, well, not exactly, it wasn't quite like that, but what she meant to say was...
Yeah. They tried to clear it up, but not so much.
Whenever you need to put out a long statement clearing something up, you know you're in trouble.
Look at that picture. Amazing.
Yeah. It's a huge, huge crowd here in Washington. They're going to introduce Michelle Obama and Jill Biden, and then we'll hear from, we'll be seeing and hearing from Joe Biden eventually and from Barack Obama.
For the early inaugurations, there was no amplification, and only about 50 people could actually hear the speech. Very closely gathered in. This you can hear the sounds all the way. We must be at least a half mile to a mile away.
This is even piped, and also the video jumbotrons are out on the parade route, so people have had to decide whether or not they want to go to the mall to try to say they were able to be on the mall for the inauguration or on the parade route. And so those folks who are on the parade route can watch this as well.
And now we see President Bush. He's getting ready to be introduced as well. He's walking out, escorted by the top Republican leadership in the U.S. Congress. Spent the day pretty much as he always did. He was up pretty early. He had a briefing with his national security team around 7 a.m., as he almost always did. But let's listen to the introductions.
Nancy Erickson, the clerk of the House of Representatives, Lori Ann Miller, Mr. Blum, Mr. Pelosi, and Mrs. Reed.
He's inside the crypt in the rotunda, getting ready to walk out. He'll be introduced, and he'll be followed by Joe Biden, and he'll be followed by Barack Obama. They'll be walking out for the swearing-in ceremonies. Michelle Obama has just been introduced. There she is. She's walking down those stairs with Jill Biden, the wife of Joe Biden, the incoming Vice President of the United States.
It's exactly 1 hour from now. President Bush is supposed to board Executive One, the helicopter which will take him to Andrews Air Force Base. All of this will, history will change in this next hour.
Yep, there's no doubt about that, and there's no doubt that the entire world is